Welcome to DV Live. My name's David Goddard. I'm the Senior Vice President of Business Development, and I'm here with Lauren, the new Head of UK Ad Sales at Samsung Ads. Lauren, what an amazing place to be and what a great place to do business. How are you finding Cannes so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing week. I say week, it's been 3 days, but I'm feeling like it's been a week. Lots has been crammed in, a lot of fun has been had, but I mean, when you're doing a meeting on top of a yacht, you can't complain. So yeah, had an amazing time.
No complaints from me either. So we're having a great time. Sorry everyone if you're not in Cannes right now. Lauren, look, your career journey is quite impressive. Transitioning from recruitment to various roles in digital.
Yeah.
And now you're the head of UK sales at Samsung Ads. Can you share a few kind of pivotal moments that has led you to this place in this role?
Yeah, I mean, recruitment was the classic straight out of uni. What do I do? Fell into a job. I actually worked for an amazing lady, and we worked in the lounge, her lounge in her house. There was 4 of us. So that kind of got me started in selling. I then did the classic, went travelling, took a gap year, and actually met a group of guys who worked in media, and they were like, we'll get you a job, you can move to London. Moved to London, started in ad tech, so at LoopMe, and kind of worked through, had a bit of a stint at News UK, and now obviously at Samsung in connected TV, so I've been there for coming up to 4 years, and have recently taken on the role of head of UK sales, which I'm very, very excited for. We've got a lot of exciting things happening over at Samsung, and in the UK team specifically, we've got a lot of kind of new energy on board, which I'm really excited for. Yeah,
that's amazing, and we love Samsung, and they're a fabulous partner for DoubleVerify.
Yeah.
So, and excited for you in this new role. And you're talking about connected TV and streaming TV, and this is the kind of the focus of this topic for DV Live, which makes a lot of sense with Samsung Ads on here. And the evolving TV landscape is presenting advertisers with an abundance of opportunities. In your view, kind of what trends, opportunities should advertisers be focusing on, really prioritizing?
There's a lot of buzzwords I feel floating around Cannes. There's obviously AI, there's attention, there's transparency. I think to advertisers who are looking to move into connected TV, you need to think of yourself when you go home in the evening and sit down and watch the television, take your media hat off and just be the consumer. And when you go home, you don't sit there and go, oh, I'm going to turn my smart TV on, and now I'm going to go into SVOD, and then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go into BVOD. All of these acronyms are kind of convoluting our industry, and we just need to kind of pull things back, simplify things. And you just need to think about where your audience is. And then that will tell you kind of the story of where you need to advertise. And what Samsung are doing fantastically to kind of help navigate that fragmentation and that landscape that's kind of getting so confusing out there is we're able to reach users on the home screen of our televisions, which means as soon as you turn that TV on, your brand can be present, 100% share of voice, with no other advertisers kind of either side. So that's a really, really good way to capture users' attention when they're lent in that discovery moment.
Amazing. That's really good advice, and I hope they listen and tune in and take that advice on board. And you're talking about kind of audience, it comes down to kind of also transparency and measurement, which are still key challenges in the streaming TV and connected TV world. How would you kind of evaluate the industry's progress in this area, and what do you feel are the improvements that are still needed?
I think going back to what I just said with fragmentation, the biggest difficulty is having consistency across the board. Obviously, our advertisers and our agencies, they want to have a measurement piece that works across every single person on their plan. And we're not there yet. No one in the industry is, but we're kind of doing everything we can to get to that place. If you're looking at transparency and kind of brand safety, Samsung absolutely hangs its hat on that. Being a company as big as Samsung, they take that sort of thing very seriously. Sometimes too seriously. Logging into my laptop in the morning can be quite challenging. But when it comes to our media, obviously that's kind of front and foremost of everything we do. So making sure that everything's obviously GDPR compliant, it's not personally identifiable data, but then it's the reporting that we give on the back of that to make sure that our brands and advertisers know exactly how their campaign is delivered, but also the kind of return on investment that they're getting off the back of that, whether that be purchase intent, whether that be awareness, whether that be attention. And that for me is really important, and that's something I feel quite strongly about when I'm working with a client. I want to be able to make sure I'm proving the success of their campaign when they've worked with Samsung.
Amazing. And thank you. And look, just to wrap up, Cannes is in full flow. As you said, 3 days have felt like a week or longer so far. And the topic of connected TV and CTV and many other topics are being discussed. Kind of what are the discussions or the learnings that you're leaning into? What are the key things you've taken away and that you're going to walk away from Cannes thinking about and maybe acting upon?
Attention. Attention is really, really key. Like obviously you've got your view-through rates, you've got your click-through rates, but actually we really need to start thinking, have we captured the engagement and the attention of that user? There's lots of different ways you can do that, but something that Samsung are focusing on at the moment is moving away from that kind of passive, lean-back TV experience to a more lent-in experience. We've launched something called Game Breaks, which is really, really exciting, and it gives an opportunity for the viewer to lean in during commercial ad breaks and participate in a game with their remote control. These are just the sorts of things that we're kind of testing, that we know have worked in the US, that we're bringing over to the UK to really kind of change the game when it comes to kind of viewing TV and how the advertising experience on TV can change, which is really, really exciting.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wrap here for DV Live. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks.